Hi, I'm going to run you through how to apply for your intensive winter grazing consent. If you need consent, the application form can be found on our website in the Ready to Apply for a Consent page under the Intensive Winter Grazing box. You can use this form online, or you can download a hard copy or contact the consents team for a copy of the form. You do not need to register for an account, but it is recommended that you do so, as you can save your form at any time. Once you have submitted it, you can then go back and look at it and any other applications you have in with us. For example, once logged in and you have started your online intensive winter grazing application, but wish to complete it later in the day, you can select Save. After saving or logging in, you can then navigate to My Forms near the top of the screen. In the My Forms screen, you can view your current online applications in progress in the draft section, and the ones you have completed in the closed section. To continue a form in draft, simply press View on a specific form and then press Continue to continue filling in the form.
The first section is information about you. Remember that the applicant's name is the name the consent will be issued to at the end of the process. This should be the person that has taken responsibility for the intensive winter grazing activity on the land. From the first box, select if it is an individual, company, or trust applying. Here, I have selected individual. You then need to add in your contact details. The physical address is the address for where you are grazing. If you want correspondence about the application to go to another address, then select yes. The postal address is different to the physical address. You do not need to add in an additional contact, but if you have a farm manager or if you are a consultant filling in the form, then you may want to add in a second contact here. All the boxes with red asterisks need to be filled in. The next section is about why you need consent. Please select I can comply or I cannot comply for all of the 4 statements listed. For example, if you're grazing on slopes over 10 degrees, select I cannot comply. Section 2 is about the location of the proposed activity. The first question is the total farm area you will graze over the life of the consent. This could be all of your farm or just part of it. For example, 100 hectares. The next question is the maximum total hectares you will use each season for grazing. For example, 70 hectares. Please write the maximum number of hectares you would use in any one year. You only need to write in the number, you do not need to write in hectares. The next question is how long you want the consent for. We recommend a maximum of 5 years. Slope is the next key information. Please tell us about the slope of the paddocks you plan to use for winter 2023, and if known, for the other parts of the farm you will use over the lifetime of the consent. Soil type is in the next box. Please include this if you know it. This is needed for the paddocks you graze for winter 2023. For example, you may say that the soil is heavy or clay-based, or if you know the specific soil name, you may write this down in the box. Please then confirm that land on your farm is used for grazing in the reference period by selecting yes or no, and if the area is the same or less than the area used in the reference period. If the answer is no, then please contact the consents team by phone or email, as you need to fill in a different type of application form. You may also wish to attach any information that confirms that land on your farm was used for winter grazing during the reference period. This could be things such as aerial images, farm records, fertilizer records. This is not a requirement, but you can upload this information. In the next box, please select one of the 4 drainage characteristics that applies to the soils in the paddocks you are using for winter 2023. You can find this information on the soil charts and SMAP online, or you may already have farm maps that show this for you. You may also know this information from your experience on the farm. The final question is about stock types to be grazed. This is important for winter 2023, but if you know this information about the stock types beyond then, please include it. If you are grazing more than one stock type, then you can use the Add Another button. The next section asks you to complete a farm map or aerial image of where you will graze, and to tick the boxes that apply to you. Please include a large-scale farm map that shows all the paddocks you want to graze over the consent, along with any waterways on or adjacent to your farm. This is important as it is part of the application that tells us about the receiving environment. If you do have trout, galaxids, or native fish in your waterways, or any features that are listed that are adjacent or downslope to your grazing, then you need to tell us more about these features in the box where you can write further information. Please also mark these features on your large farm map. Use the upload button to add these maps in. You'll need to do this one map at a time. This is an example of a farm plan or map that you could include with your consent application. It clearly shows the paddocks on the farm. You then need to tell us what paddocks you want to intensively winter graze over the length of your consent. These are the paddocks shown in blue. As part of the application, you then need to tell us which paddocks you're going to intensively winter graze in winter 2023. These are the paddocks that you will do your intensive winter grazing management plan for. These are also the paddocks that we would like you to do paddock-specific plans for. You can either draw these or you can draw on aerial images, as long as you show us where the critical source areas, waterways, and other features are, as well as where you will put troughs, your grazing direction, and other key features. Uploading your management plan is the next step. Please complete this management plan on a separate document and include it. You can use any management plan template as long as you include the information that is listed on the screen. A copy of a template is on our website on the Intensive Winter Grazing tab and in the Intensive Winter Grazing section of the consents page. We advise you to spend the bulk of your time on the management plan. You need to complete your management plan for winter 2023 and do it for the paddocks that you will graze in winter 2023. For example, you would select yes for the first one if the grazing activity is not carefully managed and has the potential to result in erosion and compaction of the soil, affecting water quality, ecosystems, and water bodies due to increased contaminants. Do not worry if you select yes for all of them, because in the next section, you will tell us about the on-the-ground actions you will take to address these effects. You can choose to do a separate assessment of effects if you want, and you'll need to write this in the box below before selecting continue. In this section, please tell us about your mitigation measures, which are the practical and property-specific things you will do on your farm to address the effects you told us about in the previous section. You can do this in 3 ways. Include them in your farm management plan, include them in the box, or select them from the list in the potential mitigation and management section. Please make sure you select the box that relates to what you are doing and click continue. In this section, please show you've thought about whether you need to graze or not. Please select one of the 2 options. Please let us know if you've talked to any neighbours or stakeholders about your activity. Consultation is not mandatory as part of preparing your application, and we will let you know if you need to talk to anybody about your application. The final section on this page is a planning assessment. For example, is your activity consistent with the sections of the Resource Management Act? Please make sure you read this and select yes or no. If you select no, you need to complete your own assessment and upload this document. Finally, we have a list of the on-the-ground actions you'll be taking to reduce any risks associating with your grazing. This section is not mandatory, and you may have already included this information in your management plan or a separate document. If not, please go through and select the ones that apply for winter 2023. You do not have to do all of these, and not all of them will work for your farm. Just choose the ones that work best for you. If you select Other at the bottom of the screen, please type these into the box and then select Continue. Please select that you have provided us with all the information and that you will pay for the processing costs. On the hard copy of the form, there's a checklist with this information. For the online form, you then need to add in a signature by selecting the capture box and using your mouse, like a pen, to draw a signature in. If you are using a phone or tablet, you will need to draw on the screen of your device. Please also select the date. The next screen shows a summary of your deposit, which is followed up by selecting how you will pay the deposit. Here I'm selecting that I will pay by internet banking, and you will get the payment details on the screen. You will then get a confirmation screen, and you should receive a confirmation email to the email address you entered at the start of the form. If you have any questions or issues with the online application form, please contact us by email or phone. Thank you for your time.